Hey guys, welcome to the team call. We do this call every Monday night at 8:30 Central. This is your go-to place to find out what's going on, what's working, what's not working, and just kind of touch base and see who these people are other than just little profile pictures or thumbnails on Facebook. We like to have some guest speakers on every now and then, but tonight you guys are going to be saddled with me again. And I'll take some questions afterwards. But what I want to talk about is I want to kind of continue on with from where we talked about last week about, time and consistency. And, everybody on here, I think everybody, it looks like, everybody that's on here has a job that I see right now, or we've got kids or we've got whatever. And so we're busy people. And we have to make that part of our story. When I started, I was working 12-hour shifts on midnights. I had kids in scouts and soccer and everything else. And Cody was working full time too. And, I just did what I had to do to make it work. I said no when people called and said, hey, do you want to go out? Or I said no when Cody in the beginning, before she was on board, she was like, hey, let's go do this. And I was like, I can't, I haven't done my workout yet. And that is 100% a real key factor in why I'm at where I am today. When I started, it was back in the days of P90X and then the 90-day program, an hour to an hour and a half a day. And I didn't miss any workouts. And I did it for 6 months straight, 180 days. I did it for 6 months straight and I didn't miss any workouts. Now you got one off day in P90X and my off day was never on the day that it was supposed to be, because something would happen, life would get in the way. And so, if I'm supposed to do yoga on Thursday and something happened, I had to stay late at work or whatever, then I backed everything up a day, or I did yoga on what was supposed to be my rest day. But I never missed a workout. And because of that, I was able to be the example that this is doable with a busy schedule. And, and that's really important from the business side of things and the fitness side of things, because when people sign up with you, and if you aren't making it happen, if you aren't, getting out of the way of your excuses and making your business and your workouts a priority, then how can you expect them to? If they come to you and they're like, oh, you know what, I haven't worked out in like 3 days because I'm super busy. And your answer is, I know, me too. Then there's a problem in the fundamental way that you're running your organization. And, I say that without judgment. I'm not trying to judge anybody. When I talk to you guys, I want everybody to understand, and I think that most people do, is that, I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm saying it because this is what it takes. This is what it takes to be a successful coach. And if you can't find the way to make that happen, then, you just won't see the level of success that people who make that sacrifice are going to see. And it's just really that simple. It's, speed of the leader, speed of the pack. When you do these things and you make the effort and you make it a priority, when people come into you, when people come back to you and they say, man, you know what, I just didn't have time to do it. There's a saying that you hear every now and then, and it's talk about, feel and found. I think, is you can say, what I understand how you feel. It's feel, felt, found. I understand how you feel. I felt the same way. But what I found was that if I made it a priority, that I was like, look, you know what? It's bedtime and I haven't done my workout yet. And so I'm just going to get, 30 minutes, 45 minutes less sleep tonight so that I can do my workout now. Then that's what you're able to turn around and tell these other people. Feel, felt, found. You validate what it is that they're feeling. You tell them, you know what, I understand because I was there too. And I felt that way also. But what I found was, and then you explain how it is that you overcame whatever obstacle it is that they're dealing with at that particular time. And, you know, and if it's somebody, if you don't have children and it's somebody who's like, well, you know what, I've got 5 kids or whatever, you know, then you can try to relate to that with your schedule or whatever. But I guarantee you that there's people on this team who are busier than these people here too. You know, I love the saying, you know, that if it's important enough, you'll either find a way, or if it's not, you'll find an excuse. And that's just really it. You know, and you guys will hear me a lot of times talk about noble excuses. You know, I don't want to get off too much on a tangent here, but the excuse that people love is my kids. You know, well, I would work this business, but my kids need help with their homework, or my kids, you know, have soccer practice, or my kids this, that, and the other. And so, you know, what it is that they're telling themselves and trying to tell you is, you know, it's what I call a noble excuse. They're like, well, I would be a successful Beachbody coach, but I've got kids. And, you know, my response to that is because you have kids is exactly why you should be a successful Beachbody coach. You know, I've got kids too. And because I made those choices when I did and still do is why my kids are able to live the kind of life that they live now, to where when I tell my kids no, when they ask for something, it's because I think that they don't need it, you know, not because I can't afford it, you know, and so it's one of those things where you're buying your time back with those kids. Not everybody on here wants to be full-time, and that's fine, you know, and I'll just take half a minute to tell you, I dare you, though, to put yourself into a situation where the reason you go to work is because you just really, really love your job. Because I really, really love my job, but when I had doubled my money, my income with Beachbody, and I was making a decision between going to work that I no longer needed to go to pay for, you know, to pay my bills and stay at home with my kids, it wasn't a hard decision for me. You know, I mean, for me, I was choosing to go to work, even if I loved that job, over spending time with my kids. Now, you know, that's my viewpoint on things. It's not everybody else's viewpoint. If you just, you know, really love your job, then that's fine. But my challenge to you is to put yourself in a position where the reason you go to work is because you just really love it, not because you got a car payment to make, because Beachbody's taking care of that. That's my challenge to everybody. You know, so it's about finding these people and helping them get over their own obstacles. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about the way that I like to see people post. You know, last week I talked about the 3 to 5 rule, 3 to 5 posts a day, 1, maybe 2 of them about Beachbody, 3 to 5 new friends a day, 3 to 5 coaches a month, 3 to 5 coaches in Success Club a month, and 3 to 5 new conversations every day. Now, when you post something about your workout and somebody asks you, man, I've been thinking about getting that. Maybe they ask you something super specific. Man, I've been thinking about getting that. How much is it? And they ask you those in those comments. Don't answer the question in your comment, right? Because everybody sees it then. And so anybody else who has that same question, they don't have to come to you and they don't have to start that conversation because you just answered it in your thread. So what you tell those people is, hey, I'll shoot you a message. That's your reply to them. And so then what it actually does is it's kind of, you know, stirs up some curiosity from people. And they're like, oh, that's a good question. I wonder what the answer was. And so, you know, they might come on there and be like, hey, you know what? Or they might message you also. So think about that and don't message those people or don't answer those questions in your comments because you want people to be engaged in a conversation with you. So, and you know, one of the things that I want you to think about, we've got Team Cup coming up, right? So everybody needs to be on a Team Cup. Summit's in like 10 days. We're going to have a really good summit bounce afterwards with people buying new programs. You're going to see the volume go up after Summit. It goes up every year. But, I want you to think about when you're posting these things. If you're just getting started, especially if you're just getting started, you want to celebrate small victories. You just signed up last week and you get your first check and it's $15. Celebrate that $15. Okay. And the reason that you want to sell it, people will laugh at you and they'll hate on you maybe because you're like, wow, $15. You post about Beachbody like every day and you made $15 and you're excited about that. And your answer is, yes, I am, because I'm taking this thing to the moon. And you watch those people, because a year from now or 2 years from now, after you're saying, hey, you know what, I just paid for my Chick-fil-A with my Beachbody check. And then you're saying, hey, you know what, I just paid my utility bill or my car payment or my mortgage with my Beachbody check. People will see that. So if all you're doing is you're posting about your fitness and you're not sharing with people that you're earning money, then you're not going to bring in people who are interested in earning money. And there's people that, have kind of gone through that. I don't know for sure if anybody that is on the call right now is one of those people, but maybe one or two. But, if you post and you're just crushing the fitness side of things and you're signing up a lot of customers or a lot of coaches who end up just being discount coaches and don't work the business, then generally what that tells me is that you're not posting about the fact that you're actually seeing success with the business. And so the only people that are coming to you are people who want to get in shape, and not anybody who's like, hey, you know what, I want to make some money, and if I get in shape along the way, that's great too. And I've been through that cycle where in the beginning, I was attracting only fitness people. And then when I started posting more about what I was earning and I really wasn't working out as much as I should have been, and I started gaining a lot of my weight back, then I was attracting only business builders because people were seeing me and they were like, well, this guy doesn't really appear to be working out a whole lot, but he's earning money, so I'm going to sign up. But what happened was a lot of those people weren't seeing the success that they should have been seeing because they came in following the example that I was setting then instead of the example that I set in the beginning. I was kind of resting on my laurels and saying, and I was constantly telling people, hey, you know what, in 2009, man, I was shredded, and I was like, and I did all this stuff in 2009 and I got in really good shape. And that was the platform for working my business. And it's true. But, when I did Hammer and Chisel very recently and I started getting, and I got really good results with that, man, it was so refreshing to actually have people coming back to me so that they could get in shape, because I haven't had a lot of those people in a long time. I was attracting mostly just business builders. So you want to post that, you don't have to share exactly what it is you're earning. I love to use the examples of bills. Like I said, that first check is, hey, I just paid for dinner with my Beachbody money, and then a couple of weeks later, it's, you know what, I just paid for dinner and a movie. And people will see that progression. I'm sure some of you have heard this story before, but one of my coaches, he signed up after like 5 years because he's like, man, I keep watching you do this and that, with Beachbody, and I figured I'd sign up before, you posted that you bought a helicopter, because that was just the progression that he was seeing. Now, I don't plan on buying a helicopter. I never say never, but, it's not on the radar anytime soon. But, that's what people are. Cody thinks I can't buy a helicopter. She says no, but maybe a little one. But anyway, it's people will watch that stuff, and they will, either a lot of them will either at that point then they will start, making fun of you, saying that the things that you're doing now are embarrassing, or things that they can't do, aren't willing to do. And that's fine. If it's, those aren't the people that are going to join your business anyway. Those aren't the people who are looking for help. If somebody comes to you and they just are just super hateful on what it is that you're doing, then, you just got to bless and release that. People, I'm guarantee you that there's people on this call, because I know that I've had those messages, where people will message you and they'll be like, man, I get so sick of your positivity. I'm over here dirt poor. I can't afford to make my car payment or whatever. And you're over there posting about, doing this or that because of yay, Beachbody and stuff. You just got to let those people go, because they have the wrong mindset anyway. It's one of those rubber band mentalities where guys, one of the things, and you know what, next week, maybe we're going to talk about personal development. But if you guys aren't reading a book right now, then you should be. And if you haven't read Entrepreneur Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy, then you should, because it's brilliant. But that's one of the things that people, especially people who struggled, man, there are people who came into this business and they started seeing success, and I really believe, it's called the rubber band effect, but I really believe that success frightened them, and they started seeing the success, and they're so used to struggling, and because they didn't engage in the personal development that helps them understand, what, my kids are worth this, my kids are worthy, I'm worthy of getting rewarded for the efforts that I put into this. If they don't take that part of this business seriously, then they start to be like, wait a second, this isn't me. I'm supposed to be struggling. I've struggled all my life. And they bounce back. And and I've seen it by, of course they're not on this call anymore because they gave up and they quit. And now they're posting, about how broke they are again. And I'm sorry for them. I'm sorry that that's how they are. But the simple fact is that you can't help everybody. Everybody actually has to get to a point where they're ready to make a change in their life before you can actually help them. And that's just reality. So you just have to stay positive in your message, 3 to 5 posts a day, with one of them being about your fitness, and maybe another one later. Every now and then, you don't want to post every day about earning money or every day about the business side of things. I think that's a little much. It works for some people, but it's not what I do. But every post that I make builds my brand. I'm very deliberate about every post that I make. My posts are about, being a cop, about personal responsibility, about living a designed life, about my family, about being Texan, and about Beachbody. But it's all of those things, because the thing is people have to see something in you that makes them want to do business with you instead of just going to Amazon or Beachbody.com. Does that make sense? I'm going to pretend everybody's nodding. So, that's thanks, Heath. Heath's always on my big screen. I don't know if everybody else is a big screen or what, but that's who I see all the time. But so that's 20 minutes now. And, we try and keep these things under half an hour. Does anybody have any questions? I want to say hello and welcome to Megan. I understand that you just signed up and you're already on the team call. That's fantastic. And, and I'll tell you, Megan, and anybody else, if you didn't hear the call last week, one of the things that I'll tell you is the only difference between you and a coach who earns 6 figures a year is time and consistency. If one of the things, and I'll speak directly to Megan now, is so, Megan, what I want you to have in your head, okay, and Mackenzie and Jenna, that's awesome, girls. Okay, so all 3 of you girls, what I want you to have in your head is that you will succeed in this, okay? When you tell your friends or you tell your spouse or you tell somebody else that you signed up as a Beachbody coach, I don't want the words, I'm going to give this thing a try. I'm going to give this thing a shot. I'm going to give it my best effort, anything like that. When I signed up, in my heart and in my mind, and the words that came out of my mouth was, if this thing is real, if this thing is legit, and it's possible to earn real money doing this, then I'm absolutely going to do it. Because those other people who I see earning money, their families aren't any more worthy than mine. And if they can do it, why not me? And so, quitting has never, ever crossed my mind. And the fact that I was like, I will succeed I will succeed in this business. I will make Success Club every single month. I've got like 74 months in a row in Success Club. And that's because I made it a non-negotiable. No matter what, I make Success Club every single month. And that's why I'm at the level that I'm at now. And I don't say that to brag, but to shine the light and point the way for everybody else and say, if you make it a priority that no matter what, you'll make Success Club every month, then you will succeed in this business. And, and I would challenge you guys. I know some of you just signed up, and so, this might not exactly work for you, but, break those goals up. Okay. I like to see people make at least 10 points, but 6 is Success Club. 5 is Success Club, but you should get 6 points. And so, by the 10th, you need 2 points or you're behind, right? By the 20th, you need 4 points or you're behind. Because if you just keep putting it off and, you find yourself in a spot where you just waited too long. And now you're trying so hard, and people smell that desperation, and people don't understand your deadline where, like if the 30th or the last day of the month is Thursday, and they're like, oh, you know what? I'll sign up Friday on payday. And you're like, no, I need you to sign up now. It's really hard to go to those people and be like, no, I need you to sign up Thursday, not Friday, because, really what we need to be about is helping other people and serving other people. And if you have to try and push them to Thursday instead of Friday, then you're really starting out making it all about you. So, I'm going to talk real quick, since we got 3 new coaches on the call, about Success Club or Success Starters. What I want you girls to do is, put it on your goal list that you're going to be Success Starters. And that means your first 3 months, you're going to make Success Club. Now, just so you understand the rules, this month, you actually get 2 shots at your first month. If you don't make Success Club this month, then next month can be your first month also, right? It's actually your first full month. But if you make Success Club this month, then that counts as your first month. And then you make Success Club the next 2 months. And not only are you going to earn free customers from Beachbody, as long as you're Emerald and have everything else lined up, you're going to earn a free ticket to Summit next year. And I tell you guys, everybody who's not going to Summit in 10 days, you're going to be watching the videos and you're going to be watching the pictures and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I so should have gone, And so I'm rambling here, but the other thing that I want everybody to think about is you need to start figuring out how you're going to buy your Summit ticket. And for your Success Starter girls, if you earn Success Starters after you buy your ticket, they'll refund you your money. But Summit tickets for next year will go on sale while we're at Summit. And they sell out, sometimes that day. Sometimes you get a couple of days. But, you need to be planning. If you're serious about this business, one of the things you need to be telling yourself is, I'm going to be here a year from now. And a year from now is when we're going to have Summit. And so you need to be ready to you know, and you can do payment plans, but put in that registration for Summit next year. And when, you know, and you can set those goals with, you know, you can use that as an incentive. You can tell your spouse if they're like, holy cow, you just, you know, spent $150 or $200 for something a year from now. And you're like, look, you know what, if by then I'm not earning enough money to pay for it, then I won't go, you know? And so you put that on yourself, that goal, to where you have something to drive you, something additional to drive you to succeed. Okay, questions? Nothing? Okay, awesome. Everybody, I want you to get on a team cup. Remember, 1 lifetime diamond. So if you used to be diamond, but you aren't now, you can't be on a team with another diamond. It's lifetime diamonds. And you need to make sure. Oh, okay. Megan had a question. I don't see.
Yeah.
Okay. Megan, go ahead. You can type it, or let me unmute you. Go ahead.
I didn't have a question.
Well, think up one quick.
I'm taking it all in. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I'm excited. Okay. Myra has a question. I think you should be able to unmute yourself, Myra. I'm going to try and find you, but if you find yourself before me. Well, if you find yourself, does that make sense? All right, I found you. Okay, you're unmuted. Okay. I've always had a hard time replacing. I don't challenge them on it. If they give you a date, you know, then really, you know, if it's, I don't honestly challenge on it, Myra. You know, I said, if they're like, okay, you know what, I can sign up on the 18th. You're like, okay, cool. So I'm going to call you on the 18th and you're going to be ready. Is that what I understand? You know, and then you set up a time that you're going to call them on the 18th. Because a lot of times what those people are doing is they're just brushing you off. Because people don't like to say no, you know? And so part of this also is actually giving people permission to say no. You know, if somebody keeps telling me that they're interested and then they keep not signing up, then I tell them, look, I'm not trying to waste your time or mine. You know, if this isn't something you want to do, it's okay. You can tell me no. We'll still be friends. And, you know, and that's just one of those things that, you know, sometimes people tell me, well, you know what, it's just not really a good time for me. And that's fine. Or sometimes they'll turn around and be like, no, you know what, I am ready. Sorry, I didn't mean to be wasting your time. And if they're just flat out ignoring you, I love to reach out to those people and be like, hey, did I make you mad? Because we were talking and now I know you see my messages. It says read. And now you're not saying anything to me. Did I make you mad? And 99 times out of 100, they come back and they're like, oh no, I'm not mad at you. Just been super busy. And now the conversation is going again. Does that make sense? All right. Anything else? Thank you guys for spending some time with me. I'm excited about this month. I'm excited about Summit. And I'm excited about the Team Cup. Team Cup is really good for everybody. So make sure you get on a Team Cup because everybody loves free stuff, right? Thank you very much, guys, and I will see you on the boards.